Good morning to all of you. Now we are going to discuss a case relating to the quash proceedings. Of course, it came in the negative. That means the Honorable Madras High Court, it refused to quash the service of summons issued to the dental doctor. Of course, under section 482 CRPC, he filed the quash petition, but it was not allowed. Why these things happening? Why there is a disintegration of criminal justice system? How the police are using the powers of investigation in the way they like, but not to ascertain the goal of the truth. How these things are happening? So we will discuss all these points in this case. Not only quash proceedings, but the way the investigation is going on and how the accused is able to circumvent the investigation, also approach the court in that method. All these things let us discuss. Right? While disposing or while delivering the judgment in the case of S.M. Balaji versus R. Jayaprakash 2020 in criminal OP number 26,924 by 2018. On 28/9/2020, the Honorable Madras High Court refused the quash proceedings against the dental doctor. He is Mr. Balaji, against the doctor, right? If you go into the summary of the case, so you will be knowing this Balaji is figuring as A2, right, in crime number 30 by 2014, registered under section 500 and 507 IPC, read with or unannulled, and section 66A of the Information Technology Act 2000. How the case has been registered, now let us discuss, right? So this doctor, he is Mr. S.M. Balaji, right? So he is a doctor, and there is another famous doctor by name Gunasheelan, right? So Balaji, of course, Gunasheelan, and he has got a trust by name HMA Trust. So it is presided by his friend Mr. Nayak, and some other people, Gunasheelan and some others were their members in the trust, right? So during the year 2013, Dr. Gunasheelan and some others, they are all of them are dental surgeons, and they are actually both oral and maxillofacial surgeons, dental surgeon specialists, right? So, and they are members of the Dental Council of India and some international association of the oral and maxillofacial dental surgeons also, right? On 21/10/2013, so then international conference on oral and maxillofacial surgeries was held in Barcelona, that is Spain, right? In this connection, Dr. Gunasheelan and others, they participated. Dr. Gunasheelan, he presented a paper report, right? It is a scientific paper report on the developments in the oral and maxillofacial surgery, right? So he has already that's completed and has come back from Barcelona, right? So after coming back, his friend Mr. Nayak, so who is this Nayak? I think his full name I do not remember, but Mr. Nayak, he has informed him that Kishore Nayak, yes, Kishore Nayak told him that he received a mail from the ID mfssurgeons@gmail.com stating that the report submitted by Dr. Gunasheelan is of course it is a derogatory remarks they have passed, and also Dr. Gunasheelan as well as George Paul and some others also, they have made some allegations. More than that, most important is regarding the crux, I will tell you. The HMA Trust presided by Dr. Nayak and George Paul and also this Gunasheelan had been involved in a series of malpractices. Supposedly, so malpractices, it's the connivance of the Dental Council of India, right? Very recently, this HMA Trust has been raided by the CBI, and they have arrested Dr. Gunasheelan also. Subsequently, the membership from the Dental Council of India to Gunasheelan was deleted or was stopped. So why the ill-gotten money through this HMA Trust is being handed over to his son, to make a fortune to his son in Bangalore, to build a dental college, to build a hospital, and I will literally to say to build a construction empire to the son of Mr. Gunashilan. So this is the email. Now this email is definitely derogatory, defamatory in the view of Mr. Gunashilan. Therefore, immediately he approached the police, Madras City Police, and basing on his complaint, above case and crime number 30 by 2014 was registered, and the investigation, of course, it was handed over to the crime, cyber crime, because they don't know where from the email has come, so they have to take out all these things. So Mr. Ambalgan, who is the investigating officer, he took up investigation. He sent a notice to the Google, which is the service provider. The Google stated that with some Aircel cell phone, they have given the number also. One Mr. Jayaprakash, he is the originator for the so-called email. So Jayaprakash, he has actually started this email. From this email, lot of mails have gone, the defamatory mails have gone to almost throughout the world to so many famous dental doctors. That is nothing but so injuring to the reputation of Dr. Gunashilan. See, the trust maintained by him has been raided by the CBI. He was arrested. His dental council affiliation was stopped. All these things. So therefore, section 500, that is defamation, injuring the reputation of a person. And second is 506, I think 507 IPC. 507 means criminal intimidation by certain anonymous act. Here, the name of the email ID, one of the email was not known. Therefore, section 507. Of course, you know 66A, that is sending offensive messages through communication devices. Of course, with the judgment of that very famous Shreya Shinghal versus Union of India judgment in 2015, Justice Judge Salmeshwar Rohington Nariman, they held it is as unconstitutional. But still people are using that section also. Police are using that section also. Right. Now, as far as the investigation part is concerned, Mr. Ambalgan took up the investigation. He took the service of the Google service provider, and he fixed it. So on. Now, he fixed it. He went to Dr. Jayaprakash. Who is the Jayaprakash? This Jayaprakash is an employee of Dr. S.M. Balaji, who is also a dental surgeon. So S.M. Balaji's employee, Mr. Jayaprakash, so he has sent the emails, he has sent the derogatory emails to all the persons. So who is this Balaji? He is an employee, therefore vicarious liability, that means owner, he is also liable. Or here the abettor, or the 34 common intention. So anyway, this Balaji was also lugged in. So the investigation was completed, and the charge sheet was filed against both Jayaprakash and Dr. S.M. Balaji also. Right under section 500, 507, read with the 66A of the Information Technology Act. But the magistrate, 11th Metropolitan Magistrate, he refused to take it on file, because the investigation, of course, in the view of the judge, it is not sufficient. That's why section 204 CRPC says the magistrate should be satisfied that is a prima facie material to take the case on file. Of course, that magistrate Abraham Lincoln, he refused to take it on file. Here you have to say the hands behind the saying. Right now, because it was remarked, the charge sheet has been remarked, Mr. Ambalgan once again took up further investigation. Of course, that he has the main point for rejection or retaining of the charge sheet is that the service provider's certificate under section 65B of the Indian Evidence Act was not enclosed. Simply, they have given the reply. Google service provider given the reply. But they have not given any certificate to that effect. Without certificate, what is the use? If this document cannot be marked in the court. Therefore, Honorable Court has it has returned, and now he has taken the certificate, and now he has actually altered section 66A also, because by that time it have come to know, he might have come to know that 66A is already held unconstitutional. Now he has added 66D. 66D, that is cheating by impersonation, communicating a message by way of cheating by impersonation. That means Jayaprakash, Dr. Balaji, in the name of Jayaprakash, he has cheated, he has sent all these false and derogatory and frivolous messages. Right? So, and incidentally, what happened is, ultimately, during the second investigation, a remarked charge sheet Then Mr. Amalgan removed Balaji from the list of accused. That means now the case is filed only against Jayaprakash. See, first his investigation disclosed that this Balaji, in the name of Jayaprakash, he cheated. Right? Now he fixed only Mr. Jayaprakash. Now the later judge, his name is Surya Prakash. So later judge came, he has perused the entire documents and he has been satisfied that the investigation points towards S.M. Balaji also. Therefore he gave he made both Jayaprakash and Balaji also as accused and he issued summons to Balaji. Now this is the problem. Now Balaji approached the Honorable High Court of Madras to quash the proceedings under 482 CRPC and to quash the summons issued to him also. See how the case has taken so many turns. First two accused, then when the magistrate remarked, after the magistrate remarked, only one accused was made out. Now the second magistrate has come and he has made two of them as accused. So these are the twists and turns in this case. See how the investigation is being manipulated. Of course, by the extraneous forces. I should not comment because I worked already as a police officer. So I will stop with that. Right? So now you see the investigation, how the actually circumvent is what is called circumventing of the investigation. First two accused, then sections of law were changed, then only one accused. Now the court has made them two accused. Now Honorable High Court also has, of course, they have submitted so many things already on behalf of Balaji. The advocate says that investigation has got heavy power. The investigation has been very crystal clear. There is no part on my client. So all these things, but the Honorable High Court did not agree. What the second magistrate has taken into cognizance is 100% correct. So therefore, the accused S.M. Balaji has also to attend the court. There is no question of the so-called 482 CRPC. It's negated. That means at least justice is done. Right? So this is a beautiful case which has taken so many twists and turns. Ultimately, the truth has come out with the intervention of the High Court. Of course, magistrate also has done his best. So this is the case. Please read the case carefully, or you can see the video twice or thrice so you can understand the actually the inner things. The hiding things I should not explain because it's not good. I don't know what happened. Maybe the investigative officer might have been true. We don't know. So anyway, but by advertently it is very clear that the investigative officer was managed. Right? Anyway, good case. Thank you.